We begin the story with a group of smugglers about to send one of their large shipments. The product is cocaine and the packaging is some melons that have been cut in half. Something that would only work in the movies because we've seen a lot. Airport alert. While they discuss the masterpiece that is their plan, in the building across the street we meet Harper, who has them in his sights with his rifle and is ready to pull the trigger. With a clean shot, he takes out a guard and his team enters the warehouse where the drug lab is. When his team is in position, he orders the lights off and the party begins. Equipped with night vision, they have an advantage over the traffickers. Once everyone falls and only the genius who came up with the melon idea is left, Andy, the team leader, rebels against him with a threatening look. Andy takes a photo from his pocket and shows it to the trafficker. He wants to know everything about the person in the photo, and terrified, he tells them everything. Meanwhile, Smudge, his partner, finds some suitcases full of money and Andy asks them to take them as loot for the job. We jump back in time. 9 days will be enough to understand why Andy has done all this. The old man is, as every day, working in a key shop. He is a locksmith, so customers are not abundant daily due to his lack of attention. His boss, who is half his age, calls him to his office to scold him and give him an ultimatum about his performance. As if working for a 20-year-old idiot wasn't enough, Andy has to attend a session with his therapist every week. There we can see that he's dealing with some issues and flashbacks from his past. Flashbacks of his time in Afghanistan, where he was in charge of a unit of 20 soldiers who, because of him, fell into a trap and only 4 survived, including Hopper and the Sam. On the other hand, we meet Rachel, who is arguing with her mother over a trivial matter and leaves her house upset. Outside, her boyfriend Cassius is waiting for her, who is the reason they are arguing. Her mother doesn't like the guy, much less that Rachel goes out with him too often. That afternoon, Cassius tells his girlfriend he'll be gone for work a week without his phone. Jealous and controlling as Rachel is, she immediately wants to argue, but Cassius stands firm and tells her she has no choice. To prove it's not about a girl, Cassius admits he's a transporter and takes her to meet Harry, his partner. Then they go with another friend named Bruno, who is having a party, and Cassius needs to deliver something to him. Once there, Rachel realizes why her mother disapproves of Cassius. The place is full of drugs and somewhat strange people. Moreover, Cassius's phone keeps ringing and he leaves her there, promising to return after making a delivery. Under the pressure of the girls, Rachel tries a new drug and overdoses, causing her to die right there in front of them. A few days later, we learn Rachel, Andy's biological daughter, who is devastated by the loss. Eva, his ex-wife, tells him about the problem with her boyfriend, and when Andy checks his daughter's phone, there are messages from Cassius, who doesn't know about her death. 4 hours, Andy was home drinking and thinking about what to do with the bastards who caused his daughter's death. Then, he took a gun from his garage and went to meet Harry. Upon arrival, he began to take them out one by one. After killing the guards and Bruno, he took Harry and began interrogating him about Cassius's location. Unfortunately for him, one guy remained and caught him with plastic over his head, suffocating him until he nearly lost consciousness. Before Harry could use his nail gun to kill him, Smush appeared out of nowhere and saved him from certain death. His former partner came to offer his condolences and saw him leaving his house with the nail gun, so he followed him to see what he was up to. Although Eva asks Andy to come home, he tells her he has things to do first. The next day, he meets with Smudge and Harper at a bar in the city, which is now owned by Sledge, his former partner. Now Andy is in front of the 4 survivors of his unit and feels bad for the rest who didn't make it out of the trap alive. His companions ask him what he planned to do the night before, and he tells them all about his daughter's death at the hands of her boyfriend, who works for some high-profile traffickers, and he wants to kill them all. Upon seeing their unit leader consumed by revenge, the team confesses that they also have their personal issues and perhaps eradicating many criminals is better than therapy. On the other side of the city, Cassius is eating something in a seedy place when some guys recognize him and try to rob him. Luckily, a car appears. One pretty girl gets out with a gun. Cassius doesn't know her, but he has no choice but to get into her car to escape from the thugs. Once they start driving, she introduces herself as Isabel, works for her father, and he wants to see him. News he wasn't expecting, and we can see on his face that Cassius is terrified of his father. Back with Andy, Harper takes him to an arms dealer to get what they need. Andy meets with the seller, who skips the names and lets the money do the talking. When asked about his plans for the weapons, Andy reveals he'll kill all the city's dealers, starting with those on the east side. As soon as he leaves the room, the seller takes his phone and tries to call his clients, who happen to be the same traffickers Andy is after. The man turns his back to the door, and when he turns around, he gets shot in the leg. Andy never left. He knew he would try to warn his clients, and now he has a knife to his neck and wants to know everything he knows about his clients, in addition to the names he can give him while facing a madman who will kill him just for fun. The guy spills the beans and gives him the information he needs. Only a few seconds later, the trafficker's partner shows up and almost kills Andy. Luckily, Harper noticed and quickly came up. Harper confesses that he has unfinished business with the dealer, and Andy leaves them alone to resolve their issues, telling him that he will wait in the car. Back with Cassius, Isabel stops in front of a store to buy some food and offers to buy him whatever he wants. But the boy doesn't want anything and stays in the car. Isabel gets out and enters the store. Suddenly, an armed man enters right behind her and the shootout breaks out. Cassius runs to help her, as he still owes her a favor, and gets her out, but she's being injured in the leg. Before they can reach the car, a group of individuals appears and forces them into a van, taking them to the outskirts of the city, where they are presented to X-Ray, the trafficking leader of the Eastern Zone, who is very upset with Isabel. She entered his factory and tainted a whole batch of goods, millions lost because of her, and now she must pay. He doesn't know who Cassius is, but his fate is sealed just for being with her at the wrong time and place. Additionally, part of the shipment was sold and many customers died of an overdose from the damaged product. It is at this moment that Cassio realizes that the death of his girlfriend was caused by the same person who saved his life a few hours ago. Cassius yells at Isabel that Rachel died because of her and tries to hit her, but the ex-king handles it for him. Although he regrets his client's deaths, he can't help Cassius, as Isabel reveals she works for the young man's father, a competitor, and the boy's death would favor X-Ray. Before she can execute them, a shootout erupts. It is Andy and his team who have started their attack on the traffickers, with X-Ray's factory being the first place to visit. During the chaos, Cassio manages to escape, although Andy notices his presence and shoots at him. The car cannot make him lose control. With Isabel's death, the team searches for survivors and Harper manages to get the name of the biggest trafficker in the region. Lucien, the father of Cassius, is the ultimate leader. His facilities are on the edge of the coast. On the other hand, we see that Cassius has been caught by his father's men and now he is very upset about all the chaos he has been causing. Although Lucien decided not to be part of his son's life, that doesn't mean he doesn't care about what happens to him. Now a war has broken out and he should choose the winning side with his father. After this comment, we connect with the initial scene, where we see Andy's team destroying one of Lucien's many facilities along the coast. Cassius, instead of supporting his father and ensuring a luxurious life as the heir to his empire, is glad this is happening to him, all because of what happened to Rachel. If his father hadn't sent Isabel to contaminate the drug, Rachel would still be alive. On the other hand, Eva calls Andy to tell him that a group of men tried to kidnap her. She called the police, but no one shows up. However, Andy has his own problems as his house is being attacked at that very moment. Fortunately, the team arrived in time to save him. After eliminating the attackers, Andy takes the wheel and drives at full speed to Eva's house. But she's not there, so they head to the next location they have of Luxian's headquarters, where bullets start flying and the team has a hard time for the first time. Upon arrival, they are ambushed. A hail of bullets forces them to separate, giving them the chance to show their individual skills. After a long fight, the team wins and finds Lucien's mansion, who plans to flee the country with Cassius to make him realize he should be on his side. However, before they can leave, Andy arrives at the mansion and kills Lucien's last guards. Now he has him trapped in his car and demands the location of Eva, but Lucien will only give it to him if he lets Cassius leave there alive. He tells him the young man isn't to blame for Rachel's death. It happened due to his war with the ex-king. In the end, Andy agrees to forgive Cassius, and when Lucien gives him the address, Andy thanks his friends for their support, and they tell him that they found more money in Lucien's house. So now they won't have to worry about starting over, nor will he have to make a key again in his life. Now that he has reconciled with Eva, he won't have to work anymore. The team celebrates, then leaves Andy alone. At that moment, Cassius appears consumed by the death of his father and shoots Andy. The movie ends with emergency services arriving at the bar and Andy injured, leaving it uncertain whether he will survive this. And that's how this great movie ends. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and thanks for